So apparently today, Takara Tomy unveiled their new version of Galvatronus from the Combiner Wars line, and I'll just say it's very different from what I expected, and actually looks decent. So I was just gonna go over my thoughts on it, what I thought, and break apart what this really weird thing is. So I'm gonna pull up the page, read descriptions and stuff. So the first guy we have, I'm gonna start off, is Cyclonus. And obviously, he uses the Combiner Wars mold of Cyclonus, except he has this more lavender color, which is more accurate to the original cartoon. And he actually looks decent, though. And I'm not sure whether or not this set is going to be like one of those box sets or going to sell them individually. But if it was, I'm probably going to pass on this, even though there's some guys in here I really want. But anyways, if it is individual, I guess I could get a few. But what I'm trying to say is, like, this Cyclonus here, while he looks nice, I just bought the Hasbro one with the plain purple, and I kind of like that better. It's more accurate to more than meets the eye Cyclonus, even though it doesn't really look like him. That shade of purple kind of is. He looks nice. So, and apparently what the deal for this Galvatronus thing is, it's made up of a bunch of Transformers different universes. So apparently Galvatron uses the power of Unicron to pull a bunch of dead guys from different universes to make his combiner thing. And it's weird. I know that sounds weird, but it's better than the Hasbro one, which is just Cyclonus can combine with a bunch of random deluxes to form Galvatronus. So at least Takara Tomy tried to give it an interesting story. Anyways, so like for instance, the Cyclonus is from this Henke Transformers manga, where he gets possessed by Galvatron. And I don't know what happened there. Japanese mangas are weird. Anyways, moving on. The next one, it's a deluxe, and I'm actually interested in this one. It's Ghost Starscream, and he's a remold of Combiner War Skydive. And he actually looks pretty nice. He has that translucent effect, that crystal plastic, and like the Masterpiece version of him had. And he's an obvious choice because Galvatron directly killed this guy, so he just, I guess, brought him back, sort of. From what I'm reading, he's kind of in an in-between state, like Energon Starscream. I don't really know what's going on there, but he looks nice. And if these guys are sold individually, depending on the price, I might get him. Not sure. But, well, anyways, moving on. The next guy is interesting. It's actually Prime Breakdown. And this is kind of surprising turn. Because I wouldn't think they do Prime Breakdown, because he has a Combiner Wars figure for G1. But, oh well, I guess not. So anyways, apparently his deal is, even though the zombie version died in thirst, he's somehow roaming the earth in an undead state. Somehow. Don't know how that works, but anyways. So he's been restored by Unicron's power and whatnot, and he serves Galvatron loyally, but he hopes to return to his former dimension and reunite with his partner, which we all know is Knockout. Well, anyways, he's a redeco of Combiner Wars Off-Road, because, they just love to use that mold. And, he actually doesn't look half bad, to be honest. I mean, he's not a zombie and all, but what makes me kind of curious is why they chose him. Again, he has that Combiner Wars Deluxe one, and Takara actually had a good, I guess it was a Voyager breakdown, which we never got one in the US. We just had that little tiny Legion class guy. I used to have that, but then I lost it 3 years ago. Never saw it again. Anyways, he looks pretty decent. The vehicle mode is interesting, and he has that kind of Prime feel to him, but it doesn't look like him too much. But then again, these are remolds, and according to the bios, they all have been given new forms. And moving on, the next guy is Roller from the IDW comics. And apparently his deal is that after he gets separated from his friends in War CI number 36, as we all know, he feels really angry about being abandoned, because if you read the comic, that the Orion and the rest of the guys get their minds erased of the last few events, and they totally forget about Roller. So all that anger and hate built up to him allowed Unicron to sense his presence, and I guess Pole Man is part of the new Combiner team. And just to clarify, this does not affect more than me saying it anyways. It's just a thing they came up for the bio. And I will say though, he doesn't look that good. He's a remold from Rook, and he's pretty much just a repaint. There's not much remolding. He still has the same head mold, which I think is a bad call. If they would have given him a better head mold, it would have made him look better. But oh well. I guess not. Anyways, the last guy on here is the one I'm really excited for, who I think looks really good. It's Armada Thrust. And I will say, I love updated toys of characters from other shows like Armada and Beast Wars. I just love them. And I was wondering if that was ever going to happen again, because I have the Armada Starscream. And I passed on the Armada Megatron because he was just a repaint. And I didn't think they were going to do a lot of this anymore, but apparently not. They did Thrust. So, and he's kind of obvious because his death was because of Unicron, so he kind of fits in the whole grand scheme of things. And according to his bio, he wants to use a new Combiner to take revenge, or something like that. Anyways, he's a retool of Combiner Wars Air Raid, and he actually looks pretty nice. I like it. I really do. So lastly, their combined form, instead of being called Galvatronus, it's going by Grand Galvatron. And that is named after the Grand Galvatron in the Headmasters cartoon. What's really funny is, if you don't know what Grand Galvatron Headmasters look like, it was this giant, fat Galvatron. Because apparently the plan for Grand Galvatron Headmasters was Galvatron was going to merge himself with Cybertron somehow. The picture they show is he's pretty much just Cybertron, but they like stick his arms and legs and head on the sides and stuff. And he looks so fat, like, you know, he's pretty much just a balloon just floating around space. And it's totally ridiculous. I never watched that episode, but I think I should. So yeah, his combined mode actually looks kind of cool. It's definitely different, but it's actually somewhat interesting. Like I said, I don't know whether or not this is going to be a box set or individual guys, but I guess they'll reveal that pretty soon. So I guess that's all I really have to say about this. I'm definitely going to be looking into this some more. And if you ever wanted some of these guys, like Armada Thrust or Starscream Ghost, this might be your chance, because I doubt this thing happens often, so you might want to look into this too.